In this section, we'll discuss planning identity synchronization. Before starting the process of configuring synchronization between your on-prem Active Directory and Azure AD, it's important to verify that your on-prem Active Directory is ready. One common problem is incompatibility between your on-prem user IDs and Azure AD user IDs because the two systems have different requirements for valid user IDs. For example, on-prem Active Directory can handle user IDs with spaces in them, whereas Azure AD can't. To make the audit and repair process easier, you can use the ID Fix tool to scan your on-prem directory and update user IDs that would otherwise cause problems with synchronization. In the next demo, I'm going to show you how to use the ID Fix tool. Okay, now we're going to take a look at using the ID Fix tool to prepare Active Directory for synchronization. So here's my domain controller, and as you can see, I have a bunch of users in here, some of whom have user IDs that are not going to be compatible with Azure Active Directory and synchronization. This is often the case if you have, for example, a first name that has spaces in it. And if we take a look at the account here, you can see that the logon name, in fact, has spaces in it, which again is not going to synchronize correctly. So to prepare for this, what I can do is I can download and install ID Fix. As you can see, I can go to microsoft.github.io/IDFix and just say, install ID Fix, click on setup.exe to download the file, which I can then launch and install, and go and query the local Active Directory, which, as you can see, it just says, a little message about the schema. I can say yes, and it goes and finds all my potentially problematic users. And you can see what it's saying here. It's saying, well, this is the name and this is the class and here's the value. Here's what an update is going to do. You can see the update is just going to remove the spaces from the username. And at this point, I can say, okay, accept that. I want to go and edit all of these things. So accept all of those changes. Notice I can also say just remove them or just mark it as complete. But in this case, I'm going to say edit all of them, and then I'll go and apply. Say yes. And it goes and pushes those changes back to Active Directory so that when I query again, sure enough, nothing more shows up as a problem. And if I go back and take a look at Active Directory users and computers, this user, for example, has had its account information updated so that the logon name now has no spaces in it, which means that it's going to synchronize just fine.